Welcome to Iron Beam, the future of futures trading. With our cutting edge chart trading.
Hey guys, good morning everybody. Today is Thursday, June 26th. It is 6:22 right now. We got market opening up in about 8 minutes. So room's been set up. I'm gonna go ahead and send this link out to you guys here in the premium, and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's here to update. All right, looks like we are good to go here. So let's see, we got a support level right here. We got a support level right here, some liquidity. Not exactly the areas I'm looking to take though. Yeah, it looks like we've got really low volatility again today. Very unusual for such market, but I mean, it is what it is. Got to work with what we got for the summer market. So the only real confluence we have is like right there. We had news this morning as well. Let me check the news. So we had news over here at 5:30. Mark that up. What else we got for today? All right, so looking over here at the daily bias for today, guys. Daily bias for today is a bullish bias with continuation likely if price holds above 43,400 and responds positively to morning data releases. Momentum remains intact, supported by tech optimism and rate cut expectations. So Powell's done speaking for the week. Basically, we're expecting rate cuts to happen twice this year, probably once in the fall or summer, and once in the summer and once in the fall. Probably not going to be in the winter. But with that said, so we're gonna have a bit of a bullish market today if price can stay above 43,400. So basically, right here, if price stays above this area where it's currently at, and it sits along this area, we'll probably expect a bullish push to the upside. Right now, you guys can see market is very slow. It's going sideways back and forth. There's not really much of a direction here. So again, we need to confirm that first before we start looking for any buys there. So if you guys are looking to take the breakout, obviously I'd probably look for the breakout mainly if it's a buy. If it's a sell, probably would sit out of it or wait a little bit for it to pull down a little bit and then shoot right back up. We're currently at the support one right here. There is an area of liquidity right here where a sweep could possibly happen. Only problem is volatility here is extremely low, so not really sure this is a good place to take a sweep, right? So, I mean, this is a sweep area, but not really a sweep area that I'm looking to really take here because volatility is so low. Obviously, I'd want volatility to pick up a bit before I start looking for any sweeps around these areas. There's another area of sweep right here as well, but again, these two areas are not really the key places to look for entries. Looking over here at the value high, let me go and take a look at the market profile, market levels here. So let's see, closest level down here, 43,335. I'm just going to mark that up. 43,335. This is a value low market profile. We have the volume low right here, 365. Oh, one controls at 403. See, out of control here. Value high at 425. And we get the actual value higher at 440. All right, so we got a couple confluences around the area. Let's see, 425. All right, so you guys can see we got some pretty crazy candles right here as price continues to bounce around. Like I said earlier, I'm probably not going to take any entries here yet until we get some confluences or confirmations and stuff like that. There was a sweep that just happened right here. So if you guys saw earlier, I had a level that was marked up right there. So this is a possible sweep area. Only problem is pre-market and market is kind of choppy right now and slow. With that said, breakout for today is looking like it's going to be a sell. I probably wouldn't recommend taking the sell. Bias for today is bullish, so what we might see is a possible initial drop to the downside and then a pushback right back up. So with that said, we got market opening up shortly in about 20 seconds. Morning, Lila. Morning, Steven. Morning, Maria. Morning, Shivam. All right, guys, market's about to open. I've marked up pretty much all the levels here. Liquidity's been marked up. I'm gonna adjust this to this lower level right here. And market is now open, guys. So price is pushing up, like I said. Bias for today is bullish. So I would only take the breakout today if it was bullish. Price is pushing up as we speak. If this buy signal here closes, we'll be able to look for a possible MPS V2 to the upside. Right now, the ATR is very low, currently at 11 ATR. Let me go over here and check real quick. All right, so we got price pushing up right here. If you guys took that sweep from earlier, guys, the sweep pretty much hit its TP. So the initial sweep was right there. The one that I marked up right before pre-market. So this one over here came up pre-market. I mean, obviously I wouldn't have taken the sweep here, but this was a sweep nonetheless, pre-market. So there's an initial sweep right there. Like I said, this thing happened right before market opened. It started at around 628. Volatility was too low, but the bias for today was bullish. So, all right, we'll keep following this up right here. We got some red flags. So if you guys are looking to take this MPSV2 up here, I'd say take it with caution. There are a lot of red flags here. We have the sessions. We have a lot of bounce areas here for price to possibly bounce off of. There's no liquidity down here just yet. But if price does come back down to this lower area, I'll be looking for possible liquidity sweeps down here. So if Federer comes back to retrace, I mean, we'll see what happens, but the looks like we're going to be in a bullish market for today. So if you guys looked at my daily outlook, so I mentioned over here, I said bullish bias with continuation likely if price holds above 43,400. For example, right here, we talked about this pre-market, 43,400 was down here. So I said if price stays above this area, we're probably going to get a nice bullish push to the upside, right? And this was exactly spot on. So continuation was likely if it held above 43,400. That's exactly what happened here. Price held above it, and then it skyrocketed to the upside. It's now pushing up here to the pre-market high. Price is very overextended at this point. If you guys want to take a sweep, this could be a possible sweep zone for you guys. For me personally, I'm not really looking to take any sells right now because obviously my bias for today is a buy, right? So If you guys want to take this, obviously I'm going to mark it up for you guys, but I'm not looking to take this here. I'll be holding off until any more buy entries come up here. We got some major resistance right here. This is going to be the resistance 1 zone. It's also the weekly resistance. And then if price pushes up higher, we have the resistance 2 up here. So we'll see what happens as price continues to push up from here. But I'll be looking for possible sweeps from this area down here. If you're looking for a sell sweep, your sell sweep would probably happen right here, but I probably wouldn't want to take it because my bias for today is a buy. So I'm mainly looking for buys today. Yeah, other than that, there's nothing else really today. Let me yeah, there's not really much else here for today. So let's see. Breakout already played out. Let's go over here to the news. I don't think there's any more news events for today aside from pending home sales. So we have medium impact pending home sales at 7 o'clock. It's medium impact, so it's probably going to push price a little bit, but nothing too crazy. Price hasn't pushed up to this pre-market high yet. This is going to be the first area of confluence. So if you guys are looking to take a sweep again, guys, sweep's going to happen up here possibly, probably to this area of liquidity and a sweep back down. If you guys are looking to take this sweep here, I probably would take it for a smaller target. As you guys can see below, the ATR is currently at 16. So the 30 points might be a little too heavy. You might want to go for something like 20 or even less, maybe even 15. I'm not going to get into the sweep here because, like I said earlier, guys, I'm looking for buys, not really looking for sells. I'll just mark this up for you guys for you guys to follow. So it looks like the sweep right there got filled. Again, I'm not in this position here. I'm mainly looking for buys today. Looks like it's about to hit TP and full TP right there for 20 points. So if you guys caught that sweep right there, full TP for 20 points. Again, like I said, my bias for today is bullish, so I'm not really looking to take sells here. I want to take buys. So my first area of sweep is going to be pretty low. It's going to be down here. I'm going to clean this up a little bit. Yeah, my first area of sweep is going to be right here. If price does come back down to here. So this thing pretty much came down, hit TP right away. It was a quick TP for 20 points. Like I said earlier, the ATR is currently at 18, 16 right now. So I'd go for a smaller target, not the full 30, but I'd probably go for that 20 there. So this one's done with. This is also an MPS V2 currently running the opposite direction. So if you guys are looking to take this for MPS V2, I wasn't really watching it for MPS V2, but there is an MPS V2 currently running to the upside now. Thanks, Siobhan, for the heads up on that. It's a little tricky area to take MPS V2 because we're currently at the pre-market high, like we talked about earlier, right? So I wouldn't really go against here because there's a area for bounce, and that's exactly where the bounce is happening for the sweep. So you just got to be able to analyze things from both directions, guys. I know there's a possible buy there, but you also want to analyze for the possibility of price turning on you. Also, this candle is too big, so there's just too many red flags around this area, right? Candle is too big, so whenever the candle is big like that, typically retraces to the halfway mark, which it did right here. The way that you can identify this as being too big of a candle is if you set up your trade there and the candle is bigger than your stop, right? So the stop's right here. Obviously, your candle's it's way too big. Even if you went for a 30 right there, it'd still be a little too big. So not in this position here, but if you guys are taking it, I'll follow it for you guys there. There is an MPS V2 technically running. Just not one that I would personally take for those reasons that I just mentioned. It's just not a good area to be taking those entries mainly. Usually, if you want to take MPS V2s, you want to take them in an open space. So for example, if we had an MPS V2 down here, then perfect. There's no red flags, there's no areas for price to bounce from. I'd be comfortable taking it right there. But because we have the pre-market high right here, this is technically a resistance zone. So I'd be careful with taking any entries around this specific area right now. For one, it's a resistance zone, and for two, it's also a sweep zone. So a couple of reasons not to take any entries there. Plus, on top of that, my daily bias is bullish. So for you to take a sell there would be very, you'd be taking a high risk, of course. So again, I'm still looking for price to come back down. If price does come back down to open right here, I would be looking for a possible sweep from down this area. So I'm looking for the turnaround right here. Looking for price to possibly turn around, come right back down to this area and sweep back up, of course. Not really going to force anything today. As you guys can see, the volatility is still kind of flat. It's starting to pick up a little more. We're back to 20 ATR. We're not close to 30, what we're used to. Um, so I'll keep watching it here as price continues to move along. Haven't really had any clean entries here come up just yet. So this MPSV2 is still technically running right now, guys. It's running right there. It's probably going to run up to the resistance. So if you guys are in this position right here, target will be right there, but it'll probably push up, bounce off the resistance, and come back down. So I'm just waiting for my setup here. We don't really have liquidity up here, guys, or none that I can really see. Let's see. Are we at all-time high? No, we're not at all-time high. We're pretty high though. Yeah, we don't have any liquidity sitting up here. Surprisingly, there's like a big zone here that's kind of empty. Yeah, there's nothing around here, which is fine because I'm not really looking to take sells here anyways. I'm mainly looking to take buys, so I might have to wait for another for more lows to be established here. So let me just clean this up real quick. Yeah, it's a messy market today. We had that big breakout right there on open, and then not much else. Price is kind of just sitting around this area right here. So what I need to get right here is I need price to start swinging. I need it to come up, come down, come back up. The reason I need that to happen is because I need price to establish some new lows. So what I'm going to look for here is I'm looking for price to come up, maybe hit resistance, come back down right here, establish a low, come back up, and then I'll look for my possible sweeps around this area right here. Right. So I'll look for a low right here, a low right here. Once it lines up with this pre-market high, I'll be looking for that possible break and retest. So like price comes up, comes down, establishes a low, pushes back up, retest, and then my entry would probably be somewhere around here. But it's got to be patient, guys. Not every day is going to be perfect. Right now, market is pretty much pushing to the upside, but eventually it's going to slow down. So nothing here right now. Just gotta wait, be patient. The NPSV2 here hit full TP for 30 points. So if you guys took that, nice work. If you guys didn't take it, it's fine. I didn't take the trade here, but we did mark it up for you guys to follow if you wanted to take it there. So starting off with the day for our move so far, we had a sweep right here. That was pre-market sweep. It was off this level right here. So there's a pre-market sweep that happened right here. Sweep right here against the trend, against the bias, and then we had a NPSV2 right here to the upside. So we'll keep watching here for opportunities for entry, but I'm not really looking for anything up here, at least not for a sell. I know we're in the resistance zone right here, but there's no liquidity within this area. So there could be a possible bounce from here. There's just no entry points. All right, so now it's just a waiting game. Now we're just waiting for some sort of confirmation, opportunities for entry. All right, we got price sitting right here at the resistance zone. This is R1, major resistance zone 1, which is also lined up with the weekly resistance. So here's my weekly chart right here. Price is currently above this area. It actually went straight up to this target. So I marked this up on Sunday. If you guys haven't seen the weekly outlook, I do the weekly outlook. So this is pretty much the outlook for the week. I had this marked up here, year to date target high if momentum resumes. Momentum did resume here earlier this week, pushed up, retraced, break and retest, came back to the target right there. So the initial target right there got hit. We're currently at the, this is the weekly resistance. And looking over here at the monthly, we're currently at the monthly resistance too as well. So price is pretty much skyrocketed up. This might confuse a lot of people because with the stuff going on with Iran, I guess a lot of people kind of predicted market to kind of drop a little bit. Price did drop on that Sunday, but it ended up pushing right back up. So you can see over here, we had the big spike to the downside on market open, but then eventually it shot all the way back up. So we're pushing past monthly resistance too. We're also pushing past the weekly resistance here on the daily chart. You guys can see here we're currently at the weekly resistance point. So the weekly resistance right here lines up with the R1 for the daily. And we'll see here if price continues to push up. There's no other opportunities available right now, guys. There's no liquidity sitting up here, so there's not going to be any sweeps available. The MPSV2 came up already, so in order for us to have another MPSV2 to the upside, we need to get a sell signal. So we need price to retrace back and then push up higher for that MPSV2 to come up. Right now, there's just nothing to take. There's no sweeps up here. There's a possible high here that's currently pending. So we need price to push away from this high. Now we just wait. All right, so just gotta hang out for a little bit. All right, we don't got much going on here. Price is still going sideways. All right, we got price pushing down right now. Price just pushed down from that resistance zone. This is perfect. So we're looking for some sort of low here to be established. We have a high right there, new liquidity zone for itself. Anybody's looking to take that. Price did push up a bit, so we might be able to swing both directions now. We'll see if it holds. This is exactly what I talked about earlier, guys. So I look for price to push up, come down, establish a low, push back up, and I'll be looking for possible entry there for a sweep. So what I'm looking for is for price here to start to range. If price starts to range within this area, that's perfectly fine. Because if we do get a range between this area where price goes back and forth, we can take sweeps on both ends, right? So it's fine. We got price right here. So with that said, looks like this might be our range. If price drops lower, then obviously the range is going to drop lower. But if it stays within this area, we're probably going to get a range within this box here. Which is fine because if price pushes back up here, you can take a sweep from this area, write it back down. If price comes up to this area and comes back down, you can take a sweep from here and write it back up, right? So we just need to make sure that this level right here gets established. So until a new high gets pushed up, then this will be established. If that's not the case, then the low will get pushed down lower. We currently have a higher high right here. We have a higher low right here. In order for this to be established, we need to have a new high here. So basically higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, etc. And it'll start to squeeze. And if it starts to squeeze, it'll probably break out to the upside. All right, so I'm just going to give it some time here. It's currently 6:48. We got news at 7 o'clock. It is medium impact. We got news right there at 7 o'clock. It is pending home sales. It's forecasted to be positive. So last month, pending home sales for month over month was negative 6.3. For this month, it's forecasted to be negative 0.3. So it's supposed to get better as we get into the summer months. So that's typical. Let's see, Barack said, hoping the news will give an excuse for some more volatility, though just medium. Yeah, it's medium impact news. So we're probably going to get some movement, probably not like a big spike, but we will get some movement. This candle right here was pretty big, though, this big red one. It's about like 50 points, it looks like. 40 points here for the body, 50 points in total. Looks like what happened here was a sweep. Or not a sweep, but basically a stop hunt. Price pushed up. It stopped out all the buyers that were chasing buys there. And now it's ready to push back up. So basically a little stop hunt there. ATR is currently at 20. Hey, what's up, Sam? Looking for any entries around here? I don't really see anything because there's no liquidity around these areas, at least no higher level liquidities levels. I just see, these 1 minutes. We're currently at the R1 resistance. So this is tricky because the bullish bias already pushed through. Let me look at my daily outlook for the day and we'll see right here. So scalping setup, price pulls back to 43,450. Okay. So one of the first setups right here is the number one scalping setup. So basically, if price comes back down here, what my daily outlook is anticipating is possibly a price drop to this point, bounce off the VWAP, and then push back up here to the market high. That's like one possible setup if it comes back down this low. I don't know if it'll come back down this low, but if it does, that's probably what to look out for. Breakout setup. This is already done with. The breakout setup already played out right here. It said break and sustained hold above 43,550 on volume. Actually, it's not there yet. So this breakout setup still hasn't confirmed. Pullback setup. Let's see. Drop near the support. We're probably not going to get there because this is pretty far down. And fade setup if YM test 43,600. Shows MACD divergence, delta exhaustion. Okay. So the main ones here that you could probably still look for would be, see if I could highlight this. That one, 43,200, and this one right here. So there's two different setups that haven't necessarily been hit yet. We have possible opportunity for a scalping setup if a VWAP balance happens around here. There's a possible sweep that may happen right here. The problem with this here is that it's not very, like it hasn't really established the level yet because price is kind of just going back and forth. I was expecting or I was anticipating price to kind of push around a little more. So technically this is a sweep right here for this liquidity. There's just no confluences in this area, right? What I was looking for here is I was hoping price would kind of push up a little further, establish a new low here, and then sweep from there. But yeah, technically there's a sweep right here. This is this liquidity. There's just no confluences, right? So typically, in order for me to take this sweep here, I would have to have some sort of resistance right here or support around here, some sort of lines that go from left to right, right? There's no confluences here at all. So I wouldn't specifically look for this as quality sweep. It's a sweep nonetheless, but it's not the quality sweep in my opinion. If you do want to take this here, obviously probably go for a smaller target. ATR is currently at 21. So instead of going for that 30, probably drop it down to 20 because the market here is a little slower at the moment. And this is also an MPSV2, like Christian mentioned. Again, I wouldn't really take any sell entries here, guys, because my bias for today is a buy. So I'd look for price to maybe drop down to certain areas here for me to take entry. Looks like that sweep right there is about to be filled. It's almost at its 20 right there. The volume here just isn't really, it's just not really that strong. Let's see. Paul said price is testing the order blocks, wait for strong pushes and their confirmations. Yep, you can see that. My bias for today is still pretty bullish, so I'll look for price to maybe come down and then come back up. If I get another low here. So we have a new high right there. So again, I'm looking for these sweeps to the upside, but I'm looking for where they're setting up where confluences are. There just isn't any confluences around here. These would be considered like low-level sweeps. And these are also conflicting. So we have the MPSV2 that's currently running right now. These are going to be conflicting entries. If anything, I would take the MPSV2, not the sweep, because this is an open area. Looks like the sweep, the MPSV2 just got filled right there and it just got hit. So like I said earlier, guys, for MPSV2s, these would be taken in areas where it's an open area, right? So like, for example, right here, there's no red flags around here, aside from this pre-market high, which was up here, but price was pushing away from it. So this right here was an MPSV2. We had a sell signal, retracement, confirmation for direction right here, and that'd be the entry. So thanks, Christian, for the heads up on that one there. I wasn't really looking at the MPSV2 for a sell, but that was there, nonetheless. It was still an entry for MPSV2. Nice. Sam caught it right there. He said got full TP on the sell MPSV2. The FEG filled. Was an easy call. Nice work. And then Shivam also caught it as well. Caught the MPSV2 sell, and Barak caught it as well. Nice work, guys. So it looks like Sam caught it, Shivam, and Barak. Did you catch it too, Christian? I know you identified it, so I'm not sure if you actually hopped into it. This is more of an ideal MPSV2 because there was no red flags below it right here. I'm still looking for my sweeps, but there's just no areas here that are set up around confluences. So right now, what I'm looking for at the moment here is I'm looking for price to establish a new low around here. This is pretty much what we just talked about earlier. Price is getting near this VWAP. So ideally, I'd like this here to be a new low before it reaches that VWAP there. Let's go back to my daily outlook. So here's a setup for the scalping entry. If price pulls back to VWAP 43,450, which is right here, this black line, with order flow absorption and holds scalp long to retest a pre-market high. So this could be a possible nice sweep area if it ends up holding this time. So we got a lower low right here. What I want to see here is I want price to kind of push up a little bit, come back down for a retest, and then push back up from there. Okay, perfect. So we're starting to get a low right here. Low level, well, not low level, but we have a lower low here. This is a liquidity level, and we have confluences now. So earlier I mentioned how there was a low right here, but there was no confluences, right? So it's not really the ones that I want to take. This one right here is actually a good one because it lines up with, we have a session right here, which is the London high. We have the VWAP area, which is right here. And we have, I don't know what this is right here, 440. This is the value high, okay, for market profile. There we go. And this right here is the value high volume. All right, so I need to have this established first. It's not established yet, guys. So in order for this low to get established, we need price to push up a bit higher. So I'm not ready to get into this here for a sweep yet. I need price to push up a little bit higher. We need to have a low, and then we need to have a high up here. Once this high is established and it comes back down, then I'll place my order there for sweep. So see right here how the sweep level just got dropped down a little bit lower. So it's not established yet. Earlier we had the lower low right here, but price pushed down further, so we had a new lower low right here. This is the liquidity, but it's not yet established yet. So I need this to push up a little bit higher. Push up a little bit higher and then come back down and then fill it. So there's no entry for me right here at the moment. I'm going to be waiting for this here to establish the low. Once it establishes, I'll be looking to take that sweep. But right here, not quite. Let's see, Sam's looking to take a buy at 437. Okay, yeah, I'm looking for entries down there too. I mean, it's pretty far down. 437 is going to line up with the sessions down here. Or 414. Gotcha. Okay, so Sam's buy entries are going to be, or he's looking for sweeps down here, which is cool. I'll be looking for possible opportunities around that area too if I do get that. PC said he's riding in a 526. He's in at 526, riding supply to 438. Okay, nice. So PC got in somewhere around here, 526. He's trying to ride it down to 438, which is going to be down here. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, we'll see what happens right here. I mean, ideally, if that's the case, if you're looking for that to ride down to that point, that's going to be a lot of bounce areas right here. So I'll be Steven said, I think funding traders is a scam. Now I checked my account history and I'm missing a trade which I took yesterday and made a profit of 1,000. Yeah, I mean, possibly, Steven. I mean, hopefully that's not the case, but that's kind of what I warned you about with using, a lot of these prop firms that no, but not a lot of people use. Yeah, hopefully it's just some sort of technical issue, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. All right, guys, we got price pushing back up right here. So I'm gonna be looking to take a possible sweep right here at 453. 43, 453. I'm gonna put a pending order right there, just waiting.
Order submitted.
Price is pushing up right now. We currently have news right here. This is gonna be
Order submitted.
the why does it say it twice? I don't know why my Ninja does that sometimes. Whenever I place an order or whenever it exits, it always says it twice. I don't know if anybody else gets that error, but I started noticing it yesterday when I took that entry. All right, guys, so price is pushing up right here. We had the pending home sale, so it was very positive actually. So right here, it was forecasted to be 0.3 negative. It was actually 1.8 positive. Same with the pending home sales year over year. It was forecasted to be negative 2.1. It was actually 1.1. So price kind of pushed up from there. I'm looking for a possible sweep right here at this level, 43,453. The ATR is currently at 22 right now, so I might be looking to get in and go for a smaller target, but I'll be following it here as price pushes along. So it looks like price here might range a bit, which is fine. But I'll be looking to get in for a sweep around this area right here, the VWAP's at. I'm gonna be following the scalp setup over here, VWAP bounce. The targets here are a little further. So right here, the stop is going to be at 43,420. So if you want to follow this specifically, you can put your stop right here. Target area is going to be up here, the pre-market high. If you want to go for the full move, for me personally, I'm just going to go for my fixed move because that's just kind of what I'm looking for. So not looking for anything too crazy here. All right, 703 right now. Volatility is a little lower. Yeah, the volatility is kind of slowed down a bit. Let's take a look at the overall direction of price. So looking over here on the shorter time frames, the shorter time frames are currently bullish. You can see over here on the 1 minute price is above the pivots. Trend meter is green. Pivots are angling up. Same with the 5, same with the 10. So lower time frames here are in a bullish trend. Looking over here on the higher time frame, same thing. 30-minute price is above the pivots. Trend meter is green. Pivots are angling up. Same with the 1 hour and same with the 4 hour here. So overall direction of bias here is bullish, right? It's bullish with regard to technicals on the lower time frames, 1, 5, and 10, and it's also bullish here on the higher time frames, which is 30, 1 hour, 4 hour. So my bias for today is bullish. It lines up with the current direction of trend and the current direction of technicals. So I'm going to keep looking for possible buys here. My first opportunity for entry that I'm looking to personally take here is going to be this sweep down below. So I'm looking for this to come back down, fill my sweep, and push right back up. There's another MPS V2 right here. Again, I'm mainly looking for these sweeps because the market here is in a choppy range. So for me personally, I'm looking to take sweeps, but there is an MPS V2 that just came up right here. Buy signal retracement confirmation. It's a tricky MPS V2 though, because the volatility here is low, right? So let me go back over here. I'm just going to go to this open area. We've talked about this pretty much every day, every session, guys. There's going to be 3 ways that the market moves. Price is either going to move up like this. It's going to move down like this, or it's going to go sideways like this, right? So when market's going up like this, you're going to be looking for MPS V2s. When price is going down like this, you're going to look for MPS V2s for a sell. When price is going sideways like this, we're going to mainly focus on sweeps, right? Right here, price is going back and forth in a range. So what's my main focus right now? I'm looking for sweeps. So I'm going to be looking for opportunity right there, you know, once price comes back down to this area. So I'm looking for a possible sweep right now. We're not currently in a directional market at the moment. So if you guys are looking for MPS V2s, typically the MPS V2s will be a lot more ideal when price is moving. So like earlier in the morning, probably before 7 o'clock, right? So like between 6:30 and 7 when market's moving directional, the MPS V2s would be more likely to hit. So like right here, we had one at 6:35, and then we had one over here at 6:51. Now that we're at 7 o'clock, market here is kind of ranging a little bit. So yeah, I'll just be waiting. Yeah, Shivam said only thing I disliked about this MPS setup was the big push earlier. I think that needs to be filled with a good buy MPS. Will come 43,400 area. Yeah, exactly. So I would take an MPS V2 if it's followed by a sweep, right? So like for example here, if price comes down and fills my sweep and pushes back up, then at that point I would take the MPS V2 right here back up to the pre-market high. Because price never really came down right here yet to the VWAP. All right, so looks like my sweep here might get filled pretty soon. Only problem here is volatility is pretty low. So if it does fill my sweep, it's probably gonna be a slow push to the upside. There's no other news events for today. We got gas stock change at 7:30, but that's going to be super low impact. So yeah, I'm looking for my sweep down here. Price is currently at the London high right now. It's getting closer to my sweet fill. Sweet fill is going to be at 453. So the volatility here is a little low. Still hasn't filled it. Yeah, still hasn't filled it yet. So usually after 7 o'clock, the volatility starts to die down a little bit. And that's exactly what's happening at the moment.
Order filled.
All right, looks like I'm in on the sweep. Came down, filled my sweep, currently in profit right now, about 8 points. Let's see, the ATR is currently at 18, so I might have to adjust my target down a little more to maybe 20. We'll see. I'll follow it here for a little bit. If I want to adjust it down to 20, I'll probably do that. I'll just put a line right here. I'm gonna leave it as is first. Price is kind of dropping down a little bit. Man, I don't know what's up with my Ninja. It's been doing this weird thing where it's been giving these notifications. Anyways, my trade's still running. I don't know why I did that. All right, my trade's running right there. It's currently around entry point. Um, Now just wait. So the 20 is going to be right there. If I want to make the adjustments as price pushes up, I'll make the adjustments, but price now is currently, it's just sitting in limbo. So I currently have it still at 30-30, guys. I haven't adjusted my target yet or my stop loss. Because the thing is, for my analysis here, we're expecting a VWAP bounce up to pre-market high. So the target still, it's actually a lot higher up here. My target's going to be around here, like halfway to it. So there's going to be room for the push, but if the volatility, so what I'm looking for is for the volatility, if it's going to pick up or if it's going to stay low. Currently, right now, the ATR is currently at 18. So I'll be looking for this here to either pick up or drop lower. If it picks up, it's probably gonna hit the 30. If it doesn't pick up, it'll probably stay pretty low here. So I'm just gonna keep watching the ATR. If the ATR drops down to like 17, 16, something like that, then obviously I'm gonna go for a smaller target. If it picks up higher, I don't know what's going on with let me check my Ninja real quick, guys. For some reason, it's like giving me these notifications here. It's weird because all of my accounts here are still running. I don't know what it is. Still in the position right here. You guys can see my active one is currently running. My P&L is like right here. Again, I'm still taking partial risk on this, so my risk isn't very high. I'm taking a third of a risk. So in order for me to have a full loss, I actually need to have like 3 losses. So I'm only at a third of my risk per trade. Price kind of spiked down right here, but I'm still in it. The ATR is currently at 19 right now. That was a big spike. It was like I didn't even see that thing come down. I do have to double check my Ninja though to see what's going on with this. We've had this problem before though. If you guys remembered in the past, what happened was I had like a sim account that was copying and the sim account didn't have enough margin to cover the trade. So what happened was it would keep opening and closing a position. So I think that might be the case again here, but I'll have to double check it later. Anyways, my trade's still running right here. We're going back to about entry point. So we got this over here. Oh, that's weird. Yeah, Shivam said, by the way, Sean, you're only going to close 3 positions. Let me fix that. I think that's what happened yesterday too. So I will, it's weird because I'm looking at my Ninja. It says 6 on mine, but over here it says 3 for some reason. Yeah, I don't know. All right, so price is pushing up right there. I might just go for the 20 here. Let's see, where's the 20 at? The 20 is at 73. All right, let me make my adjustments here because it doesn't seem like the volatility is going to stay consistent. Yeah, I don't know why this thing shows that why this thing shows 3 right here. Thanks, Siobhan, for the heads up. I'm looking at my Ninja though, it says 6, so I don't know why it does that. I'll be watching it though. If it doesn't close out fully, I'll just close it out manually. All right, price is about to push up. If you guys want to go for the full 30, I mean, you could hold on to it. I'm trying to get out at the 20 though because I just don't like this market. It's uh it's not very consistent. I mean, it's been like this for a while now, right? We have had a lot of this inconsistency with the spikes. I think the big spike down is what kind of threw me off the most. Like this big spike right here was like confusing because I was expecting it to maybe just go sideways for a bit. We had a big spike to grab liquidity a bit lower and then it pushed right back up. So my target's gonna be right here on the 20. All right, price is pushing up higher. It pretty much came back and retested the news that was right there. I'm in the position right here still. It's pushing up. And profit right there, about 450. It's about to hit the 20 mark pretty soon, it looks like. I mean, it's almost there. All right, full TP. I'm out. Yeah, so I just got a little bit of some partials there, guys. Not exactly I mean not partial. I mean I got like a decent amount. I probably missed out on like a couple $100, but it is what it is. I'll take the win on that one. So full TP on that, guys. I'm out. Um Yeah. So like I said before, guys, I'm sticking to the 30-30. I make adjustments later. I don't make them right away. Because if you make them right away, you get screwed. Because a lot of times the trade is still running, of course. You got to be able to give it some space for it to breathe. All right, so decent day so far. Let me go and just screenshot that real quick. Oh man, Christian, I just saw your message, bro. Yeah, you adjusted it. Seems like right when you adjusted it, it came all the way back up. Yeah, Shivam said, well played on that. Steven said, thanks, Sean. Steven locked in. Let's see what you did for the day, Steven. All right, so Steven locked in 705 on that trade. Nice work, Steven. Solid profits right there on that. If you guys have profits to share, feel free to send them in. Nice work, Shivam. I see Shivam's profits right there as well. Oops. Let's drag this over. You can take a screenshot of mine too. Yeah, so hopefully, your profits from yesterday come back up, Steven. I'd hate to see you get scammed by that prop firm. Anyway, Shivam over here locked in 125 per account. Nice work, Shivam. About 20 accounts here, so say like well over 2,000, 2,000, 3,000, somewhere around there. Nice work. Solid profits on your PAs right there. Funded accounts. Let me take a screenshot of the trade here. So there goes the, oh, this was an MPSV2. This was a, all right, so there goes that right there. And I'll take a screenshot of my profits. There's no other entries here right now, guys. That sweep right there was a tight sweep, but I mean, it did what we expected. There's some fuckery around there though. I mean, you guys saw how price came down. It came lower right here. It pretty much grabbed liquidity even lower. See, if I had liquidity sitting down here, I would have taken a lower level. But the thing is, my liquidity was just hanging out right here. There was nothing in between. So that's why I try to get in at this point. But the next target for this to push up higher would be the pre-market high right here. So nice. Sam over here as well. Sam's a good one. Got the 20 as ATR was 20. Nice work, Sam. Yeah, so Sam actually got in on that trade too. So a lot of you guys here got that trade right there, and it pretty much pushed up pretty nicely. There's an MPSV2 that's setting up right here. If you guys want to take it, there's like red flags around the area. So I would say, just be a little cautious with your entry here if you do plan on taking it. Yeah, so there's an MPSV2 running right here, guys. If anybody's looking to take it, the target area for this sweep, or not the sweep, but for this bounce here is still going to be the we're looking to retest the pre-market high, which is going to be up here. Right. So there's an MPSV2 here. I would consider it a little bit risky because we do have some red flags here. We have the sessions and we have the news price right here, this pink line. The thing with this here, though, is that this lines up with this analysis. So you basically have two strategies working alongside each other, right? You have this scalping setup with a VWAP bounce. This is still pushing up, so this trade is still technically active. And then you have another MPSV2 confluence right here, which the target area is going to be the pre-market high up there. Nice. Sam actually got in and out very quickly. He got in, got out at 15 points. Nice work, Sam. You're killing it, Sam. You took some pretty good entries for the day. Took that sweep with us around there. Took this right here. Took the other MPSV2. Yeah, it was quick. Yeah, Sam got in and out quick. 15 points. Since the ATR is at 17, he took it around the closest number, which was 15. So nice work right there, bro. I'll keep following it. It's pushing up to the 30, but it's not exactly done yet. Let me take a screenshot of my profits for the day as well. So here are my profits so far for the day. It's not a super crazy amount, but it'll do. I was only off by like a couple $100 because I cut it at 20. So I'll look for another opportunity here for entry. Obviously, there's nothing for me to take here right now. We're currently in a choppy market, so I'm looking for sweeps versus MPSV2s. This MPSV2 is still technically running. If you're going for 20 here because the ATR is currently at 16, it looks like your target would have already been filled. Again, guys, our default setting is 30-30, but you have to look at the ATR down below. If the ATR is too low, you have to go for a smaller target or you have to like tighten your TP stop loss. I wouldn't necessarily tighten it right away, but I would look at how the market's moving, right? If it starts to flatten out. So for example, here, if price pushes to the 20 and it starts to get flat like this candle right here, at that point, then okay, change your TP stop loss to 20. But initially you want to have that cushion because you don't want to get caught in spikes, right? Like this right here. This was all manipulation, right? Price came down. We were expecting a bounce at the VWAP. Price actually came down to grab the sessions right here. And then it shot up, right? So you just got to be smart about it, guys, because I know it's tricky, and you need to be proactive with your risk. Because the thing is, you can't just this isn't like the old days, right? Where you can just set the trade and then just kind of let it be. And a lot of times here, you have to set the trade initially, and then you look at like what's happening in the market with regard to the conditions, and then from there you make your small adjustments. Because I always go in with 30-30. Like for this trader right here, this trade's still going for 30-30, but where I initially would mark it up as a 30-30, because the thing is I calculated my risk for 30-30. So I'm okay with taking the risk at 30-30, but in it, same with this right here. Look at the sweep. So if I held on to the sweep would have hit for 30-30 eventually. I mean, it would have taken a while, but I didn't trust the price action here, right? I saw the slow candles. I was like, okay, at this point, I'm going to get out at 20 instead of 30. But if I would have held on to it for 30, it would have been perfectly fine. So just keep that in mind, guys. I know a lot of people that there's like mixed opinions about like adjusting your position while it's active, but you just got to be smart. I'd rather take 20 points and take a loss on this trade. So I mean, everybody's different. Some people would rather take that risk. Some people would like rather make the adjustment. This is kind of similar to what happened on Monday, right? On Monday, I should have adjusted my risk to 20, but what happened is I got a little greedy and I held on to it for the full 30, and then it ended up turning on us. So, you learn from your mistakes. You understand how the market's moving for that specific week. Anyways, here are my profits for the day. Let me go over here to my Discord real quick. All right, let me go over here. Okay, so here are my profits from this trade right here. I didn't take this MPSV2, but I did take this sweep, and here are my profits from that. So here are all my accounts, locked in 600 per account up here. So pretty decent profit right there, 200 down here. And then over here, I locked in 600 up here for these top accounts, 200 down here, and 500 down here. So it wasn't really a big change, right? I mean, it's pretty much same thing. I would have made 900 on this. So instead of, I basically gave up about a couple $100 to get out at 20 versus hold it to 30. So, and the MPSV2 is still running here. Again, the initial target is going to be right here, the pre-market high. This entry right here lines up with the scalping setup right here. And there you go, full TP on the MPSV2. For those of you who caught it, nice work. If you guys didn't catch it, it's completely fine. I didn't get into that position there. I only took one trade for the day, which is the sweep here. I'm mainly just looking for these quality entries, guys. I'm not really looking to jump into anything too crazy. I'm looking for the ones that I think are quality. And this here was quality for me because the sweep lined up with multiple confluences around the area. So yeah, Siobhan said the VWAP to pre-market high assessment looks pretty golden. Yeah, it's about to be there right now. So this was a bigger move right here, guys. This is the VWAP bounce that we talked about. Stop loss was at 420. Target was right there. It's almost at its target. So my analysis right there was pretty perfect. Pretty perfect and spot on. It's probably gonna take some time, but eventually I do think it's gonna hit. So again, guys, my analysis right here for this, my scalping setup for VWAP bounce. If price pulls back to VWAP 43,450 with order flow absorption, this stuff is just extra. You don't really need the order flow absorption. Like we already know where the VWAP's at, and holds scalp long and retests pre-market high. And that's exactly what's happening here. Price came down, filled right there at the VWAP, and then retested the pre-market high. Nice work, Christian. So Christian over here recovered from that loss earlier. Unfortunately, he got caught in the 20 target or the 20 stop loss. So he got back in for the MPSV2, it looks like. And there you go, full TP, man. What a perfect entry. So the main entry that we were looking at was this one, right? This was the main one. So this pretty much gave me confidence to take the sweep here. It also gave me confidence to take, or not take this, but like identify the MPSV2 because we had a target right here, right? And this was spot on. So this was a bigger move right here, the VWAP bounce, which played out perfect, full TP. And then we had a liquidity sweep, which was in between it. And then we had an MPSV2. So this is what I was talking about before, guys. If you have a MPSV2 that follows a liquidity sweep, that's a clean liquidity sweep, then the odds of it pushing up higher are very likely. And that's exactly what happened here, right? Price was perfect. It pretty much swept and it went straight into the MPSV2. So played out perfect. And then this right here was an A++ entry as well. The 725 candle right there, Glenn. There's nothing over here at 722. The only engulfing would be right here at the 725. Yeah, Christian said the reason into that was because setup has been usual, right? Sweep into MPSV2. Yeah. So Christian over here, here's your profits. Let me mark download it real quick. So here are Christian's profits. Nice recovery on that, Christian. I know that would have sucked if you've been the only one with the loss today, but yeah. There you go. Christian recouped that. So this would have been nicer if Christian would have had both of the wins, right? But it's okay. He recouped his loss and he made profit on top of it. So great work right there, Christian. I mean, it would have been nice. This would have been 1,000, right? If you would have taken both, but it's okay. Glad to see you locked in profit on that one there. Shivam said calling it a day, but we'll listen on the rest of the sesh. Yeah, I'm going to keep looking for opportunities here, but if I don't see anything good, obviously I'm not going to force anything. There's a possible sweep right here, guys, but again, this is a sell sweep, so I'm not really looking to take sells here. Like I said, my bias for today is a buy, so I'm mainly looking for price to go up, not down. But if you guys want to take this as a sweep, I will mark it up for you guys right here. The ATR is currently at 15 right now, so again, probably want to go for a smaller target, 2020, mainly because it slowed down a little bit, but we'll see kind of what happens here. For me, again, guys, whatever my bias is for the day, I'm probably going to stick to that bias. I had a bullish bias, so sells here they're not really on the menu for me. We'll look at them, but I'm not really looking to take them here. So you can see over here the buys they're very strong at the moment. The only other setup here is going to be the fade setup exhaustion. So now in this is where you would possibly look for a sell. So the setup is if YM tests 43,600, right? So price is pushing up to that 43,600 into the R1 zone right here, right? So with that said, if you guys want to keep looking at this and you want to catch that fade setup, you can look for a possible liquidity to set up around that area. So basically, price would have to push past the R1 resistance. It'd have to push out of this area, and you'd have to look for some sort of liquidity up here for it to push up, break through, fake out, and sweep back down. Basically a head and shoulders pattern, right? Head, shoulders, or shoulders, head, shoulders, and then sweep. So yeah, again, like I said, my bullish bias here is playing out exactly how we anticipated. It's pushing up pretty strongly. Again, here's my entry from today, guys. I only took one entry. If you guys ever want to go back to see where my entries happen, it'll have the arrows right here, right? So I have a blue arrow right here pointing where my buy entry came in from, and then I have my red arrow over here pointing down for where my sell came in from. So just something to keep in mind. All right, we're pushing up into that weekly resistance. Again, daily bias today is a buy. It's bullish, so I'm mainly looking for buys here. There's just no other buy entries available at the moment, so nothing to take here right now specifically. Let's see, Justin said, great analysis for the day. Again, nice green day for me. Hit my goal. Want to join the group? Thank you. Yeah, definitely, Justin. Solid work, bro. Great work on locking in those green days. I know it's kind of tough when you're on the delayed stream, but yeah, once you get on the Zoom, you'll have it real time. You'll probably be able to catch a lot more of these entries too, because because it happened pretty quickly. I think specifically the MPS V2s, right? MPS V2s, unless you're watching them and you're following them, it's going to be kind of hard to follow if you're on the YouTube delayed stream. It's only delayed about like 10 seconds or so, but 10 seconds can mean all the difference. All right, so we got price pushing up right here, guys. Again, the next setup over here, that May setup would be this, which is the fade setup, reversal exhaustion. So again, I'd be looking for some sort of, what I want to see here is price to push up, establish a high here, come down, retest it, and then fade setup right there, right? Basically a double top. That's where I'd be looking for a possible sweep to the downside. I mean, we still got time. It's 7:33, so we got a lot of time here, guys. There's no rush right now. I'm just gonna sit back, hang tight, just kind of wait for stuff here to come up and happen. But at this very moment, there's just nothing here right now specifically. Just gonna pretty much play it safe for the most part at the moment. So we'll keep watching it here. I mean, there's nothing to take here at the moment. In order for us to get another MPS V2, we need to have a sell signal come up. And there was an A++ right here too that Sam caught. Nice work, Sam. So Sam got the A++ right there. And then he also got the full break and retest. Solid. Yeah, it looks like today's a pretty big day for you, Sam. Took pretty much, I think, 3 or 4 of the entries I identified, and then you took the A++, plus you took the break and retest right there too. So great work on those trades there. Okay. So there's not really much here happening, guys. In order for us to really have anything, we need to have price come down a little bit. We got liquidity here that price broke past. Again, I'm not really looking for sweeps at this point. These are basically going to be liquidity pushes. Price pretty much pushed past all these areas of liquidity. Mark this up right there as a new low. Another low right here. Yeah, my sweep areas are pretty far down. I mean, price would have to come all the way back down here for me to sweep, but not quite there yet. Sam's looking for a possible V1 there for a buy. Yeah, we'll see if another A++ comes up along the way. My first. All right, we got price pushing up to this area. Again, like I said earlier, the next setup that's really going to come up is going to be this fade setup right here. There's no sweep areas around this area, but like basically what you want to look for is look for price to kind of die down from where it's pushing up and then reverse back down. Ideally, what I'd like to see here, or actually this is kind of perfect right now. So we do have a high right there. What you might be able to take here, guys, I mean, I wouldn't really recommend it because this is going against my bias. But if you want to follow this fade setup right here, basically there's a higher high right here that's established. If price sits around this area, retests it, and then comes back down, this could be a possible sweep to the downside. So this could be a possible sweep area right here. Yeah, I mean, this could be a decent 30-point sweep. What you'd have to wait for though is you'd have to wait for this high to be established though. So I'll keep following it here. I don't know if I'll take this because this is gonna go against my it's gonna go against my bias. But if you're looking to take this fade setup, I'll try to see if there's anything here. This high has to be established first though. So just gotta give it some time. Yeah, Sam said, honestly proud of my buy at 43,437. Got it at 20, but his setup was 2080. Let's see. 437. Yeah, no, your setup was actually because you got in like way below. So I was tempted to get in a little lower. Or I mean even get in at the VWAP right there, Sam, but I didn't want to miss it because you know what happens a lot of times is my setup is like right here, right ticket at where the liquidity is, and it always sometimes it'll just fill it and then go straight up, right? I think that happened to me so many times in the past where I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna get in exactly where I'm supposed to get in and not wait for that lower push. Or if anything, get in get in like double times. Yeah. This was like I feel like this was such a spot on entry for me personally because it got really close to the stop loss. Like this candle over here kind of threw me off, right? I took my eyes off the chart for like 1 second and this thing spiked down super sharp and then it came right back up. It's crazy. But I mean, that's just how it is sometimes. Yeah, no, but yours is good. It's pretty much right here at the value high, so or between the value high and the sessions down here. Ideally, my entry probably would have been lower around this area. But I mean, it's been a great day so far, guys. So pretty much this day's been pretty solid. We had the sweep that happened right here pre-market. We had the sweep right here, mini sweep. We had some MPS V2s come up. The big VWAP swap over here that came from the VWAP all the way up to the pre-market high. We had my sweep here that I took, my official entry. We had MPS V2 that followed right after. And then now we got price here. It's starting to fade the setup right here. So the fade setup is starting to show. You see the divergence over here actually on the 1 minute. Yeah, so the divergence here is starting to shift too on the 1 minute. Let me go and max this out a little bit. Yes, the divergence started turning right here. It started turning pretty high actually. Like right at the, yeah, it looks like right at this candle right here. These two candles started to diverge and then now it's coming down. All right. Yeah, so my profits for the day, let's see. I mean, I guess I could do quick math. I don't want to upload my traders thing. It's going to take too long. So 12,000 plus All right, so that's about 6,000 or 16,000. We'll say about like 500 times 5. So we'll say about 20,000 for the day is what I locked in. So I made 12,000 across my first 20 Apex, 4,000 across the other Apex, 2,500 for my Tradeify, and then my personal account, and then my Perdia down there. So yeah, about we'll say like 18,000 or 19,000. Not too bad. So 19,000 off this trade right here, it wasn't even a full move. If it was for a full move, I probably would have made like 21, 22,000, but it's okay. Or more actually, 25,000. But it's all right. I'm just gonna take that one as is. And yeah, I mean kind of just let it be. So that's pretty much all that I have for right now. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. That's the only official entry I took. A lot of you guys here took many other entries. So you guys took the MPS V2s, specifically this one, and I think this one over here as well. You guys took the two buys. Other than that, it looks like the fade setup over here is starting to play out. So if anybody decided to take the fade setup right there, basically this is a fade setup. It's price was above, stop losses at 43,650. So stop is about 48 points. Target's going to be 43,450. I mean, it's got a ways to go. So if you guys want to take, this is actually an MPS V2 setting up right here, guys. This is going to be in confluence with this fade setup. So if you guys are looking to take this here, this could be a possible MPS V2 for you guys to ride down further. I'm not really looking to take trades in this direction. So for me personally, I probably would sit out of this. But if you want to take that fade setup there, you could take trades in between it. You don't have to take the full fade setup. You can take, trades that pop up in between. So there's technically an MPS V2 in between here. We had a sell signal, retracement, confirmation on this candle. Looks like it possibly could have happened on this one over here, but no, it's too close. So it'd be this one right here. But my bias for today is still bullish, so I wouldn't necessarily look to take anything in that direction. Oh gosh, Sam took the V1 right there, but price turned on him. It's all good. Just one in the bucket. Yeah, so over here, Steven, or sorry, Christian mentioned, even if a head and shoulders doesn't matter, it's actually one, yeah. So the head and shoulders didn't actually fill up yet. For me personally, if I was to get into this position here, guys, I would wait for a retest of the area. Because this sweep over here actually never got filled, right? Um, this is the markup that I marked up earlier. I said price will probably push up, establish a high, push down, retest it, and then on that retest there is where I actually would get in. Because there's liquidity sitting up here, but it hasn't been swept yet. So the sweep hasn't actually happened. You can see over here we have a higher high. Price needs to come back and grab that liquidity and then make its way down. So I was trying to set up this entry over here for the fade, but it actually hasn't really confirmed yet. I would need to have an actual entry that fades off it, which would be a sweep. It can't sweep without it actually coming back and retesting it. Steven's asking, is it possible for K2 members to join your hedge fund as traders? Haven't really thought about that yet, Steven. Mostly my clients here, they want me to trade their accounts, so it's not really we don't really have that option at the moment. Maybe at some point in the future, if people want to get into a riskier fund, then yeah, we could probably do that where multiple people trade it or multiple people have access to it. But yeah, for this specific fund that I'm running right now, the Kodikai Capital, it's mainly just me. Because the thing is, every trader has to have licensing. So like, if you wanted to trade for me, Steven, you'd have to take the Series 3. So I don't think anybody really wants to take that test. The test is it's not super hard, but it's difficult. I just figured out, thank God for ChatGPT, because like now that I have ChatGPT, it's able to explain, like give me some detailed explanations of to like how to answer questions. So I'm actually doing a lot better now with my studying because I'm not getting frustrated with the math questions. Siobhan. Yeah, no, exactly. Hedge fund trader Steven. Christian's talking about the other one at 710. Oh yeah. So this one down here, this was an inverted head and shoulders. Looks like, right? So let's see. I always forget where the head and shoulders pattern is. I know it's one of these buttons. There we go. So there was like a shoulder here, head, neckline, shoulder, inverted back up. Yeah. It was actually pretty perfect right there. So it was an inverted head and shoulders right there. For this year, I'm looking for an actual head and shoulders. So same thing, head or shoulder, head, shoulder. Yeah, so this over here would be a pretty nice sweep too. So like for example, I mentioned we have a shoulder here, we have a head. If price comes back and grabs this liquidity, it'll push down at least 30 points, right? It's about at least a 30-point push down. So that sweep could hit, and then it could form another head and shoulder right here. Yeah, exactly. Well, I want to get into where the head forms, Christian. So like this would be the shoulder, right? I would want to get in where the head forms right here. So like the head would probably go a little past the entry. It'd fill liquidity right there, and then it would come back down. That so like the entry would actually happen on the head right here because we want the head to happen, right? Because if the head happens, it pushes up and then it grabs the liquidity and then it comes back down right here. So that actually be perfect setup. It'd be like basically a half head and shoulders, or in other words, a double top, right? Same thing, basically double top, like basically half a head and shoulders that's setting up. Exactly. ATR is pretty low right now, guys. We're currently at 16 ATR. We're now at 7:51, guys. So we're getting closer to 8 o'clock. As you guys know, my cutoff time is 8 o'clock. If I don't see anything here come up anytime soon, I'll probably cut off a little earlier because there's just no need to force any trades here. Um, no, you guys got to remember, it's not about taking a bajillion trades, right? You don't want to take a bunch of trades. You want to take a couple quality trades and you want to stick within your trading plan, right? For my trading plan, I'm usually looking to take 1 or 2 trades a day. Um, if I get more, then great. But if I don't get more than that, I'm not going to try to force any trades there, right? So my main goal is really to take 1 or 2 winning trades per day. Um, if no trades come up, if there's no setups that line up with what I'm looking for, then I'm not going to take anything. For example, today I wasn't really, when price pushed up around this area, I was already kind of set on not taking any trades for the day because my bias for today was bullish. And I was like, okay, there's no sweeps around this area and all the confluences are down here. So I said, if price doesn't come back to this area, I probably wouldn't have taken any trades today. So you guys got to be okay with that, right? You have to understand that it's not about taking a bunch of trades. It's about avoiding bad trades. And you can see over here, price is now starting to consolidate sideways. This is probably your cue not to trade because you don't want to be trading when price is going. So here, let's just go back to what I said earlier. So earlier I said when price is pushing up like this, you want to look for MPSV2s, right? Vice versa, when price is pushing down like this, you want to look for MPSV2s to the downside. When price is going sideways like this in a range, you want to look for sweeps. Another type of form here is when price is consolidating or squeezing, right? When it starts to consolidate and squeeze like this, you definitely don't want to trade. Because what happens after a squeeze like this, when price starts to squeeze sideways like this isn't really a range. This is more of a consolidation squeeze. When you have something like this that's super tight, eventually price is going to break out. It's going to break out to the upside or it's going to break out to the downside. So depending on what type of strategy you're looking to apply, yes, you can look for possible breakouts, but when you're taking a chance like that, you're really taking a gamble because you don't really have a direction. You don't have a bullish direction. You don't have a bearish direction. You don't have a ranging direction. If this here is bouncing back and forth between this whole square, then okay, perfect. Look for sweeps, right? But it's not doing that. It's bouncing around right here down the middle. So I think this would be a good time to wrap it up. We're only about 7 minutes till 8 o'clock. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Today was a pretty good day overall. The sweep here was great. Thank God it didn't hit my stop loss, or else I would have been a little pissed because I would have seen this trigger my stop loss and then shoot right back up to TP. So, I mean, great day overall. We had a sweep right here. So how many entries showed up today? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 entries. So there's multiple areas where you guys could have entered from. If you wanted to find the most high quality entry that I was looking for, it'd be this sweep. But there's obviously riskier entries here that you could take if you're willing to take that risk. So Shavam's done for the day. Christian's done for the day. All right, guys, we'll see you guys back here tomorrow. Other than that, let me see. I got a couple things here to do in the background. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, I'll just kind of do what I need to do back here, and then I will wrap this up for the day. I'm going to put this prompt over here. I just got to get these prompts ready for the those posts that I got to make. All right, so as I wait for that here, see if anything else here is happening. Let me take a screenshot of all the trades for today so that you guys can see what came up. All right, I'm gonna take an actual screenshot. One. All right, so these are the entries for today. If anybody wants to go back and relook. Put this over. There we go. All right, guys, so price is pushing back up to this area. Again, if you guys want to take the sweep's going to happen right here at 602. Again, I'm not really looking to take sweeps here because I'm not trying to go against my bias. My bias for today is a buy, so I'm mainly looking for buys here. But if you guys want to take the sweep area is going to be right here at 602. So just a heads up if that's something you guys are looking to take there. Question from Chris. So Chris is asking for the sweeps. What are your go-to confluences usually? I want to make sure I can mark them up correctly on my own. Yeah, Chris. So first things first is the levels here on the daily outlook. So this is going to be probably the more important levels here. So like for example, my entry that I took for today over here, there was multiple confluences here, but you can see my main confluence was going to be that VWAP area. That's going to be right here on my daily outlook. So basically all of these levels right here, I marked them up. This is going to be some of my key, because they're the major trading levels to watch, they're going to be more of my key confluences. The next thing that I'll be looking for will be the sessions. So it'll be these levels here, basically any of these lines that go from left to right, right? So any of these levels here for major trading levels, and then also the sessions, you'll see a lot of times the sessions here are going to line up with the major trading levels because that's just kind of, they're in that vicinity of like where confluences should be sitting. The next thing that I'll be adding on sometimes, so for example, this morning, there weren't very many confluences in the area, right? Like this was kind of like a blank area. So what I did next was I went over to the market profile and then I pulled the value high, the point of control, and the value low, like basically these lines here, just to add some more confluences to my chart. But realistically, these here didn't really play a big role in today's entry. You can see over here, my entry happened right here. The main confluences that I looked for was the London high, which is this red line, the VWAP area, which was in the daily outlook, and then we had more sessions down here as well, the Asia high and the New York high. So, I mean, realistically, these levels they weren't really that important, but they did help with another confluence because there were a couple levels here. There's a value high right here as well, which was lower, but my entry was up here, if that makes sense, Chris. So I try to get as many confluences as possible, but the main ones I mainly look for would be the ones from my daily outlook, the support and resistance levels, and then the sessions. Exactly, yeah. Yeah. Or not just VWAP. So don't just look at the VWAP, but look at like all the numbers here because they're all going to be relevant. The VWAP is usually just going to be a bounce area. So all of these are bounce areas basically. The thing is if your liquidity is sitting where like any of these are sitting, the odds of it bouncing from any of those areas is very likely, right? And that's why I took those as a quality entry, in my opinion. So like looking at this right here, see how we have a liquidity sweep around this area because we have a high at this point? The reason why I would consider this an okay entry is because we're currently within the resistance zone right here. So looking at my daily outlook, we have resistance 1 right here. And because we have areas where price can bounce from anywhere right here, that's why that liquidity there is, it would be considered possibly, a nice area to look for that bounce. So yeah, just things to look at. Because the thing is, the more confluences you have in that area, the odds are like the thing is we have a whole box right here, right? So the thing is price can bounce anywhere from here. So it's like, okay, bounce here, bounce here, bounce here, bounce anywhere from this point. But because we have liquidity sitting right there, I'm expecting if price goes this far out, this is as far as it'll go. If it goes past this area, so say for example, price goes way up here, then you're probably wrong, right? You're probably wrong and the trade's gonna lose. But if you're spot on, it's gonna probably bounce to that area, push up to this area, and then bounce directly right back down. So yeah, it's all gonna come like this stuff is all subjective. So you kind of just watch it and you start to like see things. Like the thing is, you probably won't see the things I'm seeing, but you're gonna be able to see a lot more the more that you do this. Because there's just gonna be confluences that just like flash in front of your eyes without even having to think about it. Let's see. Lila said, I like the green and red screens. These multicolored screens has me confused. Buy for green for buy, sell for red, keeping it simple. Well, the thing here is that the only thing that changes is the blue, right, Lila? The blue is going to be for sweeps. That's how you'll know it's a sweep and not an MPS V2. The MPS V2s are green, the sweeps are blue. So the only color here that changes is the green and blue. The red never changes. Red is always going to be bad. So you can always associate red with bad. You associate the other colors with good because that's where your profit's going to be in, if that makes sense. Because the thing is, the colors don't change with the other ones. The red's always going to be stop loss, but the green and the blue are going to be profit targets. So you don't really need to you can disassociate the red and green. The only thing you need to look for is like what's not red. Because if it's red, that means it's a stop loss area. Blue and green mean it's just target areas for price to push down from. So it looks like the sweep area here would have gotten filled. Again, guys, I'm not really looking to take entries from this area. Like I talked about earlier, my bias for today was bullish. So I wasn't really looking to take sells here to begin with. I just marked this up so you guys can follow it, but for me, I'm not really looking for this here specifically for entry. But if you guys want to take this as a sweep, this could be a possible sweep area. and probably push back down into the lower range here. Yeah, Barack said looking at the charts, they look so good for such an unpredictable day. Yeah, no, I agree with you too. 100%, Barack. It was a pretty messy market for the day. But all right, guys, it is 8:03, so it's past my trading hours. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord. Otherwise, I'm gonna wrap this up for the day. Nothing really good happens after 8, so I'm just gonna wrap this up, take my profits, and continue on with this trading week. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord. Otherwise, I'll be back here same place, same time tomorrow as we continue on with this trading week. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, reach out. Otherwise, I will see you guys here tomorrow for the next